So I had a couple jobs growing up. So Popeyes, Spirit Halloween, a local restaurant where I used to live, and now I work at Portillo's. Yeah, Portillo's. So they almost all of them had something in common, and that was I had to take transportation since I didn't know how to drive. It was either bus or a Uber, and I was lazy, so I kept taking a Uber. And it wasn't cheaper, that's for sure. It was $2 to take the bus, but $10 to take an Uber or Uber. But I didn't have to wait for the bus, or I had to getting to the bus earlier. Whenever you take an Uber, you always playing chance because you never know who you're gonna get. You get a nice guy who's a dentist from Dubai, and he's retaking classes to get that license back because, I don't know, when he moved to America, they have to reteach him because they don't have healthcare? Question mark. Oh, and probably because it doesn't transfer over from Dubai, I guess. You can get that guy, or you can get James. Be cautious of James. The first time I ever took an Uber wasn't when I was working, but when I was still in high school. And like I said before, I am lazy. I will find any reason not to get up early, or if I could stay in a couple more minutes. And I didn't want to wake up at 6 a.m. to catch a bus that comes at 7:30 because I need that time to wake up. And Uber was a strange concept for me. Like the stranger of a concept. The concept of a stranger picking me up from my home was really iffy for me, and I was kind of nervous, so I paid $10 more on top of the $12 ride already. I got one of the luxury options. And when they came to pick me up, the Uber comes out of their car, and they're wearing a suit, and I was shocked. I knew the option I chose, but I did not expect even this. He took my bag too and put it in the trunk. Overall, it was really fancy. But you didn't come to watch this video about this regular rides from Uber. This isn't about normal rides. It's about the thoughts I have when taking a Uber, and also those kind of rides, you know, the ones that leave a burn in your memory. And I'll talk about my weirdest, most interesting ride. And that'll be at the end of the video. Until then, let's talk about how we feel about taking an Uber home. Like, I can't be the only one who thinks about putting a different address a little bit further away from my home just so they don't know where I'm living. I do not want James knowing where I live. I know what you're up to, James. I'm watching you. But it's mostly because of the angry drivers you have with the Uber. Like, I just had to sit in the back of this guy's car, hoping that he doesn't go into full road rage at the other drivers around him. And what am I gonna do? I'm in the back of this death machine, and I can't tell the driver, who's already mad, like, oh, hey, can you slow down? You're going kind of fast. And then they snap at me like, oh, you calling me a bad driver? Maybe I shouldn't obey the traffic laws. Yeah, thank you. Oh, hey. Then what happens when they're arrested? Like, are you let go, left alone on the side of the road? And I doubt you take another Uber or another driver app after that. But let's say you're already home. They got you at your drop-off point, and you're mad at them, and they're mad because of what just happened on the road. And they don't even pull up all the way to your drop-off. They pull it back, and you're too tired to like just not correct them. So like you gotta pull up, like it's up there. And when I get out, I just slam their door and huff away. But then I remember they're still in a giant metal death machine that can run me over, so I don't do that. Like, I'm just trying to get home or to work, and I'm not trying to get caught up in your issues right now. Found out about the Duchess from Dubai if I didn't start talking with my drivers. And I found out there's certain questions you can ask that is easily starts a conversation without pushing too much personal information from them. And the first one is, did you start your shift or are you just getting off? Because they schedule their own shifts. You might be leaving at 8 a.m. to go to work, but they probably been working from 3. Yeah, and also is this your main job or is it just a side gig? Because I'm not sure how much it pays to be a driver like that, but it can't be that good, right? Then the next two are, how long have you been doing a Uber for? And what is your weirdest ride or most interesting ride they had? Because they have weird passengers too, not just, you don't just have weird drivers and no weird passengers. Like, for example, I asked that last question to someone and they responded with, it wasn't the weirdest, but it was definitely the most interesting because of the conversation they were having with their passenger. The passenger was, let's say, a street worker, and the conversation was about their work field and their recent job, where they got paid to be held or hugged someone for 10 minutes. And it was such a awkward moment and how long it was that they kind of regretted it and they didn't know how to feel about it. And that was only in the span of 10 minutes on my way to my boyfriend. So by asking these questions, you could learn a lot about what someone has been through very quickly. Now I know I painted an odd picture of drivers, but overall they're good people and just trying to make a living just like us. And they are in the same boat as you when it comes to like picking someone up who's they never met before. And you maybe have to use it 2 times out of the day, but they had to pick out like 10 other people before picking you up. So if anything, they're probably in more danger of doing this job than you are using their service. So don't be too afraid because they're also putting themselves at risk. Now that I've talked about my thoughts on the app, I want to talk about my experience with rides. So back when I was working at Popeyes, I get really tired after my shift. And it was 4 p.m. and the bus doesn't show up until like 4:30. So I didn't want to wait, so I ordered a car to pick me up. And it gets here and I get in, get my phone. A couple minutes go by, I realize that we're not moving. The driver's trying to get my attention. I realize this now. And it wasn't my Uber. It was a DoorDash picking something up from the store. Embarrassed, I get out and look at the app to see how far away the car was. It was just pulling up and just happened to be the same model and color. But that was my thoughts and experience with the app. And I know it took a while for me to make this video, but let me know how I did. It was my first time using an editor to edit the audio, using a mic. So if you don't even like or subscribe, that's fine. Just leave feedback in the comments below and I would sorely appreciate it. Till next time, I will see you when we start imagining again.